Hello everyone, I appreciate that you love my British vlog. So today another one, and I want to comment on one very common things that I read from my viewers, that they were saying that UK is very expensive country, and this is a big problem for everything. To be honest, by living 6 months here already, I guess it's about 6 months already, I'm not really able to state that is it 100% expensive or not, especially compared to Ukraine. And now I will explain you why, because yes, this sounds very weird, but I just want to tell you some of my, my logic why I'm thinking like that. So first of all, things expensive or not expensive, this is at all something super personal always, and it's just related to the amount of money, how much you are earning. But while if you want to talk in general, I want to say that it's good idea to compare somehow average salaries and see what you can do with the average salary. If you want to rent house in UK, you need to pay let's say $2,000 per month in some good areas, and in Ukraine you will pay, for example, $500 per month. Oh yeah, $500, this is much cheaper, because for sure in UK you will not rent anything with this price, for example. But it's not right way to compare the things cheap or expensive, because you need to compare it to the income. So what I'm thinking, I check for 2021 the average salary in UK, not in London, but in general in the whole country. It was something like $46,000 per year. This is the average salary. And the average salary in Ukraine, based on official statistic, was $10,000 also for 2021. So for sure we are not talking about wartime, because this is not right way to compare the economy. But we had, you can say, 4.5 times smaller average salary in Ukraine than in UK. Then what we have? We have cars, new cars. If you want to buy new cars, they will cost somehow the same money in Ukraine and in UK. So I check same Toyota RAV4, like what I have, it exactly costs the same here in UK what I pay in Ukraine. If you will check any new car, it would be most likely the same price. Besides, I didn't check Range Rovers and Jaguars, which are considered British somehow, even they are not owned anymore by British company. But I guess maybe they could be here more cheap, a bit cheaper than in Ukraine, but all other prices somehow the same. So even with the same prices, you can say that British have 4.5 times higher salary than Ukrainian. So for Ukrainian to be able to afford such car, for example, you need to work 4 times more than British. Then, for example, if you will go for electronics, phones and all this kind of gadgets, all this kind of stuff, you will also find them here even cheaper in UK than in Ukraine. And again, considering that the whole income is much higher, those things are much more affordable for local people than they would be for average Ukrainian. Ukraine, for sure, services are cheaper, restaurants are cheaper, transportation cost is cheaper, related even, I guess, to average salary. So these things would be cheaper in Ukraine. But if you will go, for example, for apartment rent, I guess if you are earning average salary in UK, you can rent much better place than if you are earning average salary in Ukraine, because with average salary in Ukraine you will be able to afford more bad accommodation. Somehow it's very relative from city to city, so you don't really need to take it 100% as a granted. But somehow, yeah, I guess it would be more affordable in UK. And all the other things, so the life is like, to buy fuel prices are almost here the same like in Ukraine. But again, you cannot say that people are earning 4 times more. Also, if you want to check cloth brands like Zara, Mango, all this like mass market, I'm not talking about Chanel, even in Dior, Also, you will find that here prices are cheaper than for the same exactly items in Ukraine. Because yeah, in general in Ukraine for sure you can find very cheap clothes, but this would be something locally made, so it's not fair comparison. But yeah, if you want to check the same brands, here you will pay, in UK you will pay less. Okay, now what I want to say. I want to say that I'm not yet able to compare whole expenses in complex to be able to answer you, is it really cheaper or more expensive? Because I guess rent relatively related to income is the same in both countries. As we said, cars, clothes and electronics in UK is the same price like in Ukraine, but it is 4 times more affordable because of the salary and general cost. At the same time, services here are more expensive for sure than in Ukraine, and restaurants and all this kind of entertainments, these all things are more expensive than in Ukraine. But I guess if you want to talk in general about the whole life experience, you need to compare all kind of expenses which you have in total. So yeah, not just take one thing and say, oh, this specific thing here is very expensive, for example. About cars also, I want to tell you that in Ukraine, if you want to buy used car, it will cost a way more expensive than in UK. The same used car in Ukraine would be much more expensive, something like double or 3 times more expensive. So yeah, so again, what I want to say that I cannot say it's cheap, I cannot say it's expensive, especially if you want to compare to Ukraine, but I would say it's very relative. You need to see it in complex, and for now I'm still not really able to make such comparison in the fair level. So guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you find it somehow interesting and informative, and write me please what do you think about my ideas, about prices and about everything else. Bye bye.